women, if you watch and all, help us all see it, that they're starting to pave a new path in the world. There's particularly interesting that most of them work with children, perhaps the most mistreated minority in the world. And they do useful work with them, and they do much more, as I said. What they do is they are addressing a bigger hunger than the hunger that most of us think about. They're addressing the hunger that is in the center of everyone in every nation, particularly in the industrial, civilized world, the most advanced world. And that's a hunger for spirit and spirituality and caring, for concern at a loving level. And this lack of soul, which seems to be a byproduct of being in the advanced world, is something that women are peculiarly skilled at addressing. And it's interesting to see this feminine energy, mixed as it is in the women you will see tonight, with high executive skill and great judgment. There is also a kind of passion for compassion, a caring about those in trouble that transcends what one finds when men try to do this sort of thing. Another thing they do is they are addressing a political vacuum. In a time of social change, large institutions like governments do not respond quickly at all. Women, and particularly small groups of women, make significant change. I first became aware of this. A friend of mine was Margaret Mead, Dr. Mead, and I had a conference center at one point called the Tarrytown Conference Center, which I ran for many years. And in the end, I started a group, and we tried to start a kind of a small weekend university there, exploring ideas. And I asked Margaret if she would be the chairman of it. And she said, yes, I will. I'll be the chairman of the Tarrytown group. And she came for the last 5 years of her life. We spent one weekend a month together working on large problems. But I was curious as to why she'd accepted. I said, why did you accept this offer from me, Margaret? I knew her slightly, not terribly well. Later I got to know her very well. But in the beginning I didn't know her very well. And she said, well, I said, it's a very small group. And she said, you don't still think that large groups change the world, do you? She said, it's only small groups that change the world. And we have a chance here to do that. I said, do you think we do? And I said, yes. I said, how do small groups change the world? And she said, largely by forming sapiential circles. And I said, what's a sapiential circle? And she said, I shouldn't talk so big. She said, I only learned last week myself. And I said, what'd you find out? She said, well, a student came to one of my anthropology classes and said that he wanted to do a dissertation on sapiential circles. And I said, what are sapiential circles? And he said, sapiential circles are groups of people, not famous people, but thoughtful people, important in their communities, important to their neighbors and friends, who in a time of change particularly take a given topic or given subject they don't think is being fully addressed, and they address it. And they don't really have a particular vision in mind necessarily. But what they do in the end is something that changes the world. And I said, how do they do that? She said, they raise the quality of the dialogue. In time, she said, as the general old paradigm starts to die at any given time, it becomes clear that the things people have believed in are not working well anymore. And when they give up on those ideas, they look around and say, where are some new ideas? And she said, in an open society, the quality of the private dialogue affects the public dialogue. And the work of small groups, like the groups that we're honoring tonight, those groups, in raising the quality of the dialogue, have an enormous impact on the evolving future. Even Toynbee, the historian, said the creative minority, which is what he called sapiential circles. The creative minority is the principal determinant of the quality of every emerging civilization. So I want the people here tonight who are honoring apparently for small good deeds to know that the work they're doing is affecting the whole quality of the emerging society we're all going to live in. So they're doing much more, and I hope in our honoring them in this small way we're doing with a plaque, that they understand, we understand in a larger question, they're doing much more than that. And I hope they appreciate themselves for that. So I think that's all I want to say about that.